part 3. Right, let's get into part 3. So, we've got the queries done. It's time to do the forms. Some of the forms are pretty straightforward. So, this one's nothing special. Customers, nothing special. Suppliers, nothing special. Cases is the only one that's a bit different because these numbers need to make sense when we're doing our form. So what I'll do is I'll do one standard one, and then I'll do the cases one as a form, and then go from there, whether I bother doing the others or not, for the sake of you just watching me do forms for an entire video. We'll see how we go. Okay, so, yep, saved. So we're going to create form wizard. So your wizard for your forms and your reports. So form wizard, I'll start with customers. Right, chuck everything in. Just always leave that as. That's all fine. Finish. So there's really nothing you need to really worry about. Right, so this here when it comes in, it's pretty bleh as a form. Well, it's fine, it functions, but we need kind of buttons, styling, those kinds of bits and pieces. So let's get to it. So let's get into the design view. I'm going to highlight down all this. So I'm going to put a bit of a gap. And just shrink that up a wee bit. Just make a bit more space down the bottom because I want to move these all down. So I'm just using the arrow keys to bump them. And I'm going to get a line to. I should be taking a screenshot of my before and after, but I'm going to do that with my cases table. Right. So I can go in here. If the database asks for a color theme, I could do that. It's just like when they highlight this section in red, obviously there's stuff here in red is to do with what you're currently working in. So just click through and you'll find stuff that is, again, it's like Microsoft Word. You'll kind of figure out what's there. So like arrange, you're like, none of that looks like it's any helpful. Design, okay, this is inserting things. And the format, it's like, okay, this is all your coloring and pretty bits and pieces. Obviously, once you highlight things, and you get these other bits and pieces. Right, okay, so we're going to chuck in some buttons. So I want to do a new one. Nothing of this is new. Let's try the next one. New record. So it's record operations, but you don't really need to memorize it. You just read through common sense. Like, I mean, you think, there could be something down here. You're like, that's actually quite handy. Run query. Right. So anyway, add new. This picture or this pencil isn't clear. That means add new. So I just new. If you leave that other one the second window that I just raced through as command 20, does not matter. Right, so I'm going to go operations, so go to first record. In this case, the button's fine. I can leave that as that. It doesn't actually matter. I only seem to sneeze when I'm recording, honest. Right, that one. Next, finished. One there. Right, go to next. Yeah, finish. Oh, yeah. Go to last. Next, finished. Right, take all of those, and then we can kind of shrink them up a bit. And yeah, that seems to be fitting fine. Right, and then I can have a button here that says record operations, delete record, trash can. I could use a trash can, but I'd rather just say delete because it just seems a bit nicer. Right, and we always put this off to one side. Reason being, human error. Right, now that we've got our form done, in terms of all the fluffy, pretty, nice things that we want to do in it, the next step is then to just format the text, I think, because the standard text is a little bit blah. So Control A will select everything. Then you can go Format, Font. Yes, Century Gothic, because you know I have a thing for Century Gothic. And if you don't, you should know. Right. Sizes. I think if I highlight this, there you get a size. So I think just bump it down to 10. Yep, that's fine. Okay, cool. As this thing, I can. Let's have a look. Design view. Yeah, that's all nice and pretty. I could probably make this black, or I can make this dark blue. So I'll do that. So format, dark blue, and I'll make it bold. Right, design. There you go. You know, that's a nice form. You could format the color of the buttons and everything as well. It's just totally up to you. But there you go. That there is good enough for a form. So again, this is going to be the same stuff for all your other forms. It's going to for your brand and your supplier. Exact same thing, rinse and repeat. It is the cases form. So I'll show you kind of like a do and a don't. I'll start with the don't because it's quicker. Right, create, form wizard, cases, chuck everything across, finish. Did I stay in the supplier? Sorry, my bad. Delete. Yes, because I'm an idiot. Right, create, form wizard, cases. Right, everything across, finish. So you can see your drop down wizards, and you can see how these boxes aren't massive. If you've left your field length at 255, these boxes will be quite big. So that's always a good hint that you've done things right. So I'm going to chuck this in, print screen, because I've deliberately done this badly. And I'm going to have to delete this form and actually redo it again. OneNote, initial forms. What can be improved is buttons, color, alignment, font, drop downs to fill supplier ID and brand ID. Right. So if I go back, if I'm going to a new entry, how do I know which one's Senjin versus the one that's Nakako or whatever it is? I've memorized those two, but I haven't memorized all the brands. Like I remember Otter and Spec from the query, but I can't remember the other names. So how am I going to fill that in with the correct name when I've got a new one and it says, oh, the supplier, the brand now is something else, and you're like, and you have to go through the brands and go, oh, okay, so, oh, Nike, okay, Nike was 3, or Spriggan, or whatever that is, 1. So this is where the problem is. So we need a kind of a drop-down box to kind of fill that in, and the supplier would be nice to kind of have a little bit more of this information displayed. So how we do this is we go create, query design, brand, case, supplier, and we basically put in everything that we want to see in our query, so in our form. So we start with the cases because that's the main table. So I want to see the case ID, product, model, snap, color, price, quantity, supplier ID. Then I got to supply. You see how this one's got the special key around it? You cannot have 2 in here that have the special key. Basically, this is saying this is the primary, main, most important thing in the query. And if you have 2 things being the most important thing, then it just ends up in a fight. So it never works well. So supplier ID from here. So I don't need that one. So I want the supplier name. I want the contact, the country, and the city. Don't care about the email. And then next one down, brand ID. So I'm going to put the brand and the HQ, and then I'll put the sales price. I go run. There's just this lovely big query that has everything I want in it. That's lovely. Okay. So I'm just going to close this now. Yes, I'm going to save it, and I'm just going to call it case. Oops, without the caps lock going funny on me. Case case form query. So that query is just purely made for me making the form. So if I go create form wizard, then down here I can go case form query, there it is there, chuck everything across, finish. Now when I've got one, I can see this. Watch this when I change it to 2. See all this stuff here that's in a supplier? 2, tab, it all updates. Oh my goodness. So I can see all that stuff, it's all connected, it all updates, it all feeds through. This price and that up there probably should be on the other side of that. And the only issue is, right, so if I go through for a new entry, and the product name is, I don't know, Bob, and it's just 8, and the style is red. I stuffed something up there, haven't I? Oh yeah, let's have a look. Cases. Color. Style should be this. Such a googie egg. Right, okay, so let's go fix that. Yeah, okay. So let's go cases. Can I steal it out of there? Let's see if I can steal it there. Cases, style, lookup wizards. I'll type. So what next? Durable, fashion. I think was the other one. Right, finish. Transparent. Okay, so I'm going to take this copy. Ugh. Someone's like, finally, he's got it. Right. Paste. Yeah. Data. Remove duplicates. Okay. Yeah. Design view. Color. Lookup wizard. Let's go have a look in our cases one. Right. So now when I look up style, see that's fixed now because I fixed it in the table, it's connected to here. This doesn't have a drop down though. Because I dropped it down before and after. I can see if this will update though if I do this. Go color, go delete, add a new thing. Unbound, data, source. It is color. No, doesn't work still. You know what the answer for this is? Delete it. Anyway, when I was on my new one, no, my newest one. Right, so if I'm going like this, it's this, it's that, it's fashion. Oh, that's right, this is Bob. And Bob was red, right? And he was like $100 because he's epic. Right, quantity, there's only one of him. Supplier ID, 1, sure. Brand ID, 2. Right. See, if I put 21 as a supplier, it should nothing because there's no supplier that lines up with that. Right. And then see there here, if I wanted to just tab along, if I tab it, tabs in this order. If I move this up here, because I want to say, oh, the sales price is like 120, even though that should calculate if I run the update query. Actually, let's leave it as 0 then. Right, design view. If I take all of this, shift this all down, and say sales price here should be there. Right, when I go back to the view, I go here, here's tab, it jumps to there. Because it remembers the order from this. So the order should have had this one there if I wanted it there. Which, if I refresh this table, go to the last entry, right, if I go here and hit tab, it's still going to jump, even if I've done that. So I need to kind of like re-import the form to get these little bits. What I can do is I can rerun this. 14 rows, why? Because I made a 14th entry here. And if we look down here, 140. That's been fed through. That was not me typing that. That was purely because of the update query, because the information I type in here gets pushed into here. Right, and under Bob, which was done by brand ID 1, if I go to brand ID 1, there's Bob. It's in there. So it all connects up. But yes, this was not really done in a great order. So save changes, no. Both these cases I need to delete. This is why you try and make sure you get all your stuff lined up first, rather than get the form all done and pretty and then realize, oh, I've stuffed this up, and you're kind of like, and it's just easier. In some cases, you just need to kind of redo the form. Right, so let's look at this query first. Design view. Sales price. Price, there we go. Okay, run. Yep, we're great. Right, close. Yep. And then go create form wizard. Case, yep, that one there. Finish. Sweet. See, I got my drop down now for that one as well. And these are going to be in a nice order for these two. So I will just go tidy up. These can just go shift down for the button. I think that's fine. These two could be shorter because I don't think it's a bit ridiculous. Supplier, be nice to be the same length as contact, and same with city because people just like it when things line up. Right. Okay, so that's all good. Done. I can go get my buttons from my other bits and pieces as well. So I'll go grab my buttons. So I'm just going to open the customer form, go to the design view, highlight, copy, go to my cases one, paste, shift, done. Right, that's all that takes. That's honestly is so like you can recycle your buttons. That's why I leave names like new, not new customer. I just put new, so that way it's universal for all of them. Right, okay, so I want to be able to fill in these ID numbers. Supplier ID and brand ID. So I need something to sit above them. So it is combo box. See, when you highlight it says combo box, it's the one you want. Right, so basically make it a drop down box. And we're saying I will get it from another table because it's stuff to do with the supplier. Then we've got a supplier table, so go to the supplier table. We need the ID. This is the whole point of doing this, is for being able to update the ID and then having a name and maybe country, city to help me choose. Basically, all you want to hear is practical stuff. You're like, yes, I'm choosing the right supplier. We're going to sort by supplier. Next. That looks good. So you can resize these if need be. says hide that. We don't need to see it when choosing. Next, this one here, important step. Basically, when you're choosing this drop-down menu, do you want to take that ID from the drop-down menu that's hidden and actually shove that ID in another field? Yes, we want to shove it in the supplier ID. Next, and then I'm going to call it supplier search. Space in this is fine because it's just a label. Right. So there. Right, and I'm going to do the same thing with brand ID, and then we'll have a look. Down, combo box. Right there. Oh no. Yep. Brand. Yep. We need the brand ID, brand, maybe the HQ. Next, finish. Sort by brand. Next. Yeah, I'm quite happy to see it just like that. Next. Store in the brand ID. Next. Brand. Search. Finish. Right. Let's go into the design view now. So if I'm choosing in here and I go, right, I've gone to my last number 14 one. Sorry, number 14. Oh, I should be doing this down here. Should go to my first one, go to my last one. Right, so case ID 25. Right, Bob. Yep. And I want to actually go my supplier search. Here's my suppliers here. So the names, they're a bit short here, but there you go, it's number 2. And I say, that's right, it was Nike. There you go, and it's feed it in as 3. If I change this to Spriggan, 1, Otterbox will be 6. See, so there you go. So that's all connected and working, it's all doing its pretty things there. So I can put my line down here, format it, change my colors. I could put a button next to his here to say calculate sales price or something, because it'll run this query. That's a top, definitely an excellence type button there. So I'll show you how to do that. And I'll show you how to adjust the size of these boxes, because that is annoying me to no end. So I'm going to go to my design view, click on my box, it's annoying. Let's just pull this out a bit further. So we've got down format. See this one here? Column widths. 0 is hiding the ID one. This next one here needs like another centimeter, so I'm just going to chuck a 3 on there. Right? Then just check it here. That's better, isn't it? See, that's all it takes. Okay, so button. So I'm going to say sales price button in here. So I'm just going to put it next to it because when you're down to it, it makes sense to click it. Right. Form operations. Report. Miscellaneous. Run query. Right next here. I'm got which one do you want to run? You want to run sales price update. Yep. Next. I was going to say calculate sales price. Sales price. Sales price. Cal. 8. Right. So if I go to my last one, my Bob experiment, I change his price down to something a bit more reasonable, like 50. I do this. It's going to run. It's going to do it. I need to hit refresh and then go to the end. Why did that stay at 140? That's disappointing. What if I pump his run right up? Bob, 50, 70. What happened there? Save changes. Alright, close customers, yes. Let's open up the cases again. Let's go to our last one. 50, 70. Right, okay, let's change this now to 250. Right, calculate. Yeah. And then I'm going to refresh it. Go to the end. Close it. Open the case. Go to the last one. Hey, yeah. Oh, it's probably because I was in edit. If I run it this way. Yeah, there's a problem. So my problem was that I'd done this. And then I was like in edit on that field. So if I click onto the next field and hit calculate. And then refresh it and go to the last one. Ugh. Oh, it just takes a while to. Right. Again, this is build events. Right. I'm going to make a refresh. Refresh what I'm currently in. And then refresh the data. There. Save, close. Sorry, I'm annoyed now. My last one, Bob, here. So you got a $450 case. Calculate. Ah, there's the fed through. So yeah, so this is not required for excellence at all. But if you have OCD, you could do this. Okay, so in terms of ignore that thing I was doing there. To be honest, it was intense, but it's not required for excellence. If you want to have a crack at it, can refer to the video and what have you. By all means, do so. Right, last steps, I guess, very quickly. Let's go for Century Gothic. Yep. Highlight everything there that's not the thing at the top. It's 10. Just adjust the button. Right, I guess I can make this stuff here all bold and blue and chuck my line in that I like to put in. Right, and then this one here was fill. And this one here was text white. And then we look at it and go, oh, so pretty. Right, so that's all there. That's cool. So I can then go print screen in there. Evidence of improvements, paste. Right, done. Let's go back to a marking sheet because this is well and truly like gone way longer than it should have. Right, create a working form. Yup. Report haven't done. 2 to 3 relevant implications. Nah. Form is automated and readable. Yup. Form has that. Yup. Form is automated, friendly, has delete buttons. Like yeah, yup. Form / report uses alignment spacing. So I haven't done the report yet, but the form definitely does. So I'll put that in as a yes. Data as well, structure. Right. Add queries and reports, display full set of information. So that. So this is the one here. It's kind of last missing, and then I need to touch on this. Right. I'll do that. I'll do the report and then finish that last part. So I have the report as my last video, and then we'll have this done. And this is kind of the full series done, ready for assessment, and the assessment's not going to be much different. I'll chuck the assessment out and give you guys 10 days to get this the assessment nailed out, since you're working from home. And for those who are away, well, we'll suss that when we get there.